Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.
Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Yuki and John's podcast buffet. I was going to say Patreon buffet, but this is a podcast buffet because so what I'm doing today is a little something I do on the Patreon usually called Movies Are the Best with John Brennan. So usually I just read off my Letterboxd watches from the month before and sort of talk a little bit about each one, a little bit of the facts and figures of what I know, maybe get into some connections with people who worked on different things, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe sometimes I do themes or marathons. Who knows what the hell I do, because I love to watch movies. I watch a lot of movies. And somebody asked me the other day, like, how the hell do you watch so many movies? Well, actually, it's not that hard to watch a movie a day. They're only like an hour and a half to 2 hours usually. And I don't watch like crazy amounts of TV. I don't really watch that much TV. I really do watch more like YouTube, if anything, like Red Letter Media or something like that. But, you know, I don't know. Movies are my number one enjoyment in terms of relaxation and downtime, and I study them, I love them, I watch them. That's just what I like to do in my downtime when I'm not working. So it's not that hard for me to reach like 400 or 500 movies a year, because you know, if I watch one movie a couple of hours on a regular day, but then on a weekend or something, I'll do like a triple feature on a Sunday. Who knows what the hell I'll do? Or sometimes, say like this holiday week that we just had, I watch fucking 5 movies a day, 10 movies a day. Who knows how many goddamn movies I watch a day? I just keep watching movies. So yeah, you know, it's not that hard to get up to that many movies if you don't really, you know, I don't sit there watching like, you know, King of the Hill or stuff like that. Like, I'll get into it if I want to every once in a while. Like the new Beavis and Butthead is pretty good, but those are like 20-minute episodes. So don't judge me. I judge you. How many movies do you watch? Anyway, so the reason I'm doing this is a little late. I was supposed to put this out yesterday on Monday, but I didn't get to it because I've been having a really nice, beautiful, lazy holiday week. It's been so awesome. Went upstate for a little while, came down, had Christmas, and just been really, really just loving this year, hanging out with the family. And yeah, we watched a bunch of movies, caught up on a bunch of stuff that we missed. And you know, Yuki's in Japan, so we didn't really record anything new, but we have a whole bunch of stuff in the box in the hard drive from our road trip and from a bunch of stuff that we recorded from over the last year with a bunch of different topics and stuff like that. Like we did the Mandela effect. So I'm going to be putting that out starting in the new year. So, you know, it's also, like I said, the holiday week, so not a lot of people are even going to probably be listening to this. Who cares about me? Who cares about John Brennan alone and watching movies? Nobody. So that's why I'm putting that out this week during New Year's Eve week. So what I'm going to do right now is like movies are the best, because I do this exclusively on the Patreon. And I'm going to do it for the year of 2025. I'm going to kind of go through the stats for 2025 because, you know, I usually wait to do this when Letterboxd Review comes out. But I have Letterboxd Pro because one of our beautiful patrons, Lee Payton, actually gifted me a year's subscription to Letterboxd Pro, which was so freaking nice. I can't even express how beautiful that was because it's really been great. So once this Letterboxd Pro lets up, I'm probably just going to renew it myself because I've been loving it so much without the ads, and I get to keep track of all my stuff. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to read some stuff. And when you go into, say, Letterboxd, if you're on there, you go in here if you're a pro member and start to look at stats. So the first stats here are sorted by ratings. It says highest rated films. Now, full disclosure, I don't really rate movies on Letterboxd in a normal way. I don't like to give stuff like 1 star, except for The Exorcist Believer. I gave a ½ star for obvious reasons, because it's just a horrible betrayal of the original Exorcist. And in fact, that's also the only review I've ever written on Letterboxd for The Exorcist Believer. I said, this movie is kind of like the time I sat on my balls and forgot who I was for an hour and 51 minutes, which is true. The Exorcist Believer completely forgot what legacy it was upholding with William Friedkin's The Exorcist. Well, I guess all the sequels kind of have, except for Exorcist 3. But The Exorcist Believer was a true betrayal of the original William Friedkin's Exorcist, especially the Ellen Bernstein character. Fuck that shit with the whole patriarchy stuff. I'm sorry. That character would have never, ever said that, because those priests were the last hope that she had, because the doctors weren't helping her. Nobody was helping her. Nobody knew how to help that poor little girl, her daughter. And she wouldn't many years later go, the damn patriarchy kept me out of the room. Get the fuck out of here. That's so stupid. Anyway, that's the only movie I'll ever disparage on Letterboxd. So here we go. The way that I kind of do it on ratings is I give it a heart if it's a good movie, and 5 stars if I really liked it, or if I think it's a great movie, or just a really solid movie that I highly recommend. I mean, anything that I log, really, I recommend. Except for if you see like no stars or no hearts, that means I'm logging it because I want to remember that I watched it, but I wasn't particularly keen on the film. So here we go. So here are the movies that are highest rated, but that's basically all the movies. It's like Sinners, Weapons, One Battle After Another, Wake Up Dead Man, Begonia, Final Destination, Bloodlines I really liked, Eddington, the Naked Gun remake or sequel or whatever the hell it was. I thought that was great. I gave that 5 stars. I thought that was in line with the originals, at least as good as the third one. What else is here? Oh, Caught Stealing. I thought that was really cool. I just watched that on Netflix. It's a Darren Aronofsky, just like a weird comedy thriller crime heist thing. I liked it. So I'm not really going to get too far telling you what is the highest rated, because every single movie basically is either 5 stars or a heart, and they're all highly rated if I'm logging them on Letterboxd. So here we go. I'm going to continue on down here, and this is a section called Milestones. Milestones. So here it says the first film that I watched in 2025 was Extro. Now, Extro is really cool. Weird ass science fiction movie from the 80s. I believe it's a British movie. And it's all about this little boy who basically witnesses his dad get abducted by aliens, and then flash forward to many years later, and sort of the dad returns. But this movie is really famous for and this alien birthing scene that is just grotesque and practical effects and awesome and crazy. And the reason this was the first film that I watched in 2025 was because last New Year's Eve, I went to see Fish at Madison Square Garden. And it was like a 4-hour show. It was great. But I got home at maybe like 1:32 after it was a beautiful train ride. Usually the train ride from New York City isn't great, but this time it was just perfect. We got on the perfect train, not too crowded. Got home around 1:30, 1:45. I was like, you know what? I'm still kind of reeling from the show. I'm a little high. I'm a little drunk. I'm going to crack open another brew and watch a movie. And damn it if I didn't choose Extro, because that was on my list for a minute to rewatch. And I just was like, let's get weird with it. And I watched it, and I loved it. It kept me up until about 3:34 in the morning. It was a beautiful New Year's Eve. So then after that, it says the 50th movie that I watched is a movie called Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark is great. It's got a great cast with Jack Palance, Donald Pleasance, Martin Landau, and it's all about this blackout in an insane asylum, and all these inmates escape. What is the exact? It says a quartet of murderous psychopaths break out of a mental hospital during a power blackout, and they lay siege to their doctor's home. And yeah, Martin Landau is a psychopath in it. Jack Palance. It's really underrated, like just really a cool little horror movie from the 80s that everybody should watch. After that, I watched the 100th movie, 100 movies this year. I got way more than 100. I'll keep talking about that. But from 1981, Just Before Dawn. And this is a Jeff Lieberman directed movie. The same guy who brought you Blue Sunshine, Squirms, Satan's Little Helper. And this is from 1981. It's sort of like one of those Deliverance not, I wouldn't say knockoff, but it's in the deliverance genre. You know how like the sharksploitation movies where you have Jaws and then there's a bunch of shark movies because Jaws was so successful. Well, there was a whole subgenre of deliverance movies like Deliverance, and this was one of them. And this was in the Oregon mountains. A pair of hunters encounters a machete-wielding killer in an abandoned church. Meanwhile, 5 campers arrive to examine some property one of them has inherited, but are warned by a forest ranger not to venture forth. Soon after they set up camp, they begin hearing strange noises. They encounter a mysterious singing girl, and they start disappearing one by one. George Kennedy is in this one, the great George Kennedy from, I'd mentioned The Naked Gun, but he's in so many goddamn movies, you know, Cool Hand Luke, just a great actor. And I really highly recommend Just Before Dawn, and it's one of the better Deliverance knockoffs. Another one that I just watched this year was Rituals. If you haven't seen Rituals, damn. Another one is Southern Comfort with the great Keith Carradine, directed by Walter Hill. Highly recommend Southern Comfort. After that, the 150th movie I watched, a milestone. These are the milestones. Is Inner Space? Inner Space. Shit, I wish I watched it. I do love Inner Space, the Joe Dante, Dennis Quaid, Martin Short movie with Meg Ryan. Damn, I love Inner Space. I highly recommend that. If you haven't seen Inner Space, watch that. But no, Interstellar. I rewatched Interstellar for the first time since I saw it when it first came out. And damn it, if this movie isn't fucking amazing. It's amazing. And the score, the acting, the concept, the whole execution. I liked it even better than the first time I saw it, and I really liked it the first time I saw it. But this time I was at home. I was able to pause it, get a little Coca-Cola if I wanted to, maybe take a little pee-pee or poo-poo, because it is a very long movie. Let's be honest. It's extremely long. How the hell long is it? It's like 3 hours at least. 169 minutes. Yeah, there. Forget about it. Come on, Nolan. I'd like to see your 90-minute movie, Nolan. No offense, none taken. So many movies these days are so long. So long. I truly loved One Battle After Another. It's long. So many movies are so damn long recently, but it's fine. It's fine. It's just because everybody's so excited to make good movies. After that, the 200th movie I watched, 200, was Revenge. The great Tony Scott. This movie stars Kevin Costner and Madeline Stowe and Anthony Quinn. And this is a really good revenge thriller that I had seen many, many years ago when I was a child in the 90s. Well, I wasn't really a child. I guess. 1990. Yeah, I was in probably 6th grade or 5th grade or something. So I saw it back then when it first came out. And, I didn't really appreciate it at the time because it's super dark, actually. But now as an adult, I was like captivated. There's a couple of fucking amazing scenes in this that are brutal. More brutal than you would expect from a Kevin Costner film. I gotta say, man, Kevin Costner is a solid-ass motherfucker. He did some great movies. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm kind of sad that I didn't check out Horizon yet because, the poor guy, he's been really delivering movies to us all these years. He gave you whatever that show was. What was it, Yellowstone? Everybody loved it. And then he does this big epic for the silver screen, and nobody shows up. What the hell, man? Everybody needs to respect Costner. After that, 250th movie I watched, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake with Jessica Biel. I liked it. I'm not going to say it's even close to the original. No offense, none taken. But it's, it's really good. It's really solid. I like that it's not a carbon copy of the original movie. It does its own thing. It has its own surprises. And something that I totally, respect is the fact that Jessica Biel is wearing this outfit that is so tight that essentially she's nude throughout the whole movie in a way. Like, because you can tell exactly what she looks like naked because of the outfit she's wearing. But they didn't show any nudity. So whoever produced this, I think it was Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes, they figured out a way to show nudity without showing nudity. Because the whole movie is just Jessica Biel with her her boobs bouncing and this and that and the other thing, and all you could think about is like, oh my God, she's basically naked, but she's not. She's wearing a shirt, a very tight shirt, tight pants. So they figured out the recipe there for the modern age where nobody likes nudity. So you just do what they did in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Any aspiring horror filmmakers out there, take a note from this. 300th movie here is The Clock. Now, The Clock is from 1945, directed by Vincente Minnelli, and it stars the great Judy Garland and a guy named Robert Walker. And this is a really beautiful love story. It's about a GI en route to Europe, falls in love during a whirlwind 2-day leave in New York City. So he comes in, and it's this old school New York movie. This guy comes home, and he's in Grand Central. He doesn't know anything about the city, and he runs into Judy Garland, and somehow they strike up a conversation. And then she's like, oh, I'll show you where this XYZ is. And just through starting to like each other, they end up spending the day together. She shows him around, et cetera, and it leads to a beautiful romance. And it's just like a really nice romantic movie. Liz Shack and I watched this because we watched The Wizard of Oz, and we were like, hey, let's see if we can find a Judy Garland movie we haven't seen. And this was it, and it was beautiful. I loved it. After that, the 350th movie I watched this year. Oh my God, one battle after another. I loved it. I saw it on the big screen, and the thing that struck me the most about this movie is it's probably the most innovative car chase that I have personally seen in 20 years. I mean, the car chase in this movie has to be put in the conversation for one of the greatest car chases of all time. It's inventive. It's new. Nobody's ever done it before. It's exciting. And it sort of comes out of nowhere. It's not like there's this big, like the whole movie's a chase movie. It is. It's like the whole movie's a chase movie, but the car chase sort of just creeps up on you. And it's not like this big event explodes and then a car chase happens. It's like the whole movie's a chase, and then all of a sudden this car chase, you're just in the middle of it, and you're like, oh my God, am I in the middle of an iconic scene that is going to be remembered for years to come? And I think it will. I will anyway. I'll revisit just that scene alone because I was floored when I saw it in the theater, and I just love all the performances in this movie. DiCaprio's great. The girl who plays his daughter's great. The Benicio del Toro's great. Everyone's great. I don't know, man. I want to watch it again. I watched it with my parents and Liz Shack and my brother, and everybody loved it. My dad said he didn't really like parts of it. He was like, I didn't get it, doesn't tie together. But you know what? I sort of felt that way a little bit the first time, but after watching it a second time, there were things that were set up, that were paid off, that if you're not paying attention or if you miss it, you can't follow it. So I recommend watching one battle after another, one time after another. Watch it twice, watch it 3 times. After that, the 400th movie I watched was Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And I liked it. I'm going to say probably in my top 10 movies of all time, and it's on my top 4 Letterboxd, you know how you can put those 4 at the top, is Frankenstein. I mean, Frankenstein is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I mean, I don't really like to rank things in terms of like top this, top that all the time because it's too confusing. I mean, what do I know? Tomorrow I might have a different opinion about another movie or something. But for sure, Frankenstein is a constant. It's infinitely rewatchable. It's the greatest, most iconic makeup design, in my opinion, of all time in horror. And I just didn't connect to this as deeply as I wish that I had. There was something about the makeup that maybe over time I'll get more used to it or more accustomed to it, and I'll appreciate it more. But that was the biggest sort of drawback to me, was that I just couldn't connect to the makeup in a way. I liked a lot of the look of the movie. I thought all the performances were good. I thought that the guy who played the monster was great. I thought that Oscar Isaac was great, Mia Goth. There was just something about the design that I just couldn't get into. It was like too, I don't know, like too emo or something. I don't know. It wasn't as gruesome as I would, even though he was all covered in scars and stuff. It was not as gruesome as the ideas behind it. There was some great moments in this Frankenstein where they show the trial and error of Dr. Frankenstein learning how to create the being and the creature, and I thought that was really cool and gruesome and interesting. And then I don't know, there was something about the design. No offense to Guillermo del Toro, I still love the movie. I still love his work. Just something about it. It's too. It's like you remake any of these classic movies, it's gonna be tough. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. It just didn't do it for me in all the ways that I wish it did. But I also really liked it. Then the 450th movie that I watched this year was Get Even. And this is a movie that was recommended, well, maybe not recommended, that's a strong word, but this is a movie I discovered or heard about through Red Letter Media. The Best of the Worst is a show that I watch on YouTube when I'm editing or when I'm working and when I'm doing something where the sound won't be an issue. I put Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst on in the background and sort of let it just run, and it's sort of like comforting. It's almost like putting music on. And every once in a while, I'll stop and I'll see what they're talking about. And this movie sort of struck my fancy here because it just seems so interesting and weird. And I believe it did win Best of the Worst for whatever episode that was. It's Get Even, but it's all one word, Get Even. So that's how they say it. Directed by a guy named John DeHart. And this is one of those vanity pieces or one of those passion projects where a guy is the writer, director, producer, star. He even writes the music. He does every damn thing in this movie. But it's sort of like, in a way, inept, but also in a way, it's beautiful that he made his passion project come to life. It's got the great Wings Hauser in it. And Wings Hauser is just hammered through this whole damn movie. He is wasted, but he's also improvising his dialogue, and some of it's really funny, some of it's really interesting. This is a trip, man. This is one of the weirdest, funniest, worst, best movies I've ever seen. And I highly recommend watching it with a few people, because that way you can have your own sort of Mystery Science Theater riff tracks type thing where you're just making jokes, but also like floored by what you're seeing, but also the insanity. You watch this alone, you might think you're going insane. So those are my milestones here, because that's about it. That's all I've watched. Well, not all. I mean, I know for a lot of people, like 460 movies in a year is a lot, but hey, what are you gonna do? I don't give a fuck. So here it says the most watched movies this year for me. I watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas twice. And now the reason that I say I watched it twice, I didn't watch it twice all the way through. I watched part of it on a plane and I logged it, and then the plane ride ended, so I couldn't finish it. So what I did was, when I got home after I went to Up All Night and I worked in Florida, and when I got home after working on Up All Night, I said, you know what? I really want to finish Fear and Loathing, but I decided, you know what? I own the Criterion disc. Why don't I just watch the whole thing again and then look at the supplements? Because I just love that movie. I could watch that movie over and over. And so I did. I threw on Fear and Loathing for a second time, watched the whole thing all the way through, and then I watched all the supplements and all the stuff that the Criterion has. And the final thing I got to get to is the commentary, because I can't understand what the hell they did in that movie. It's so good. Then the other two movies I watched twice, Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart, because the great David Lynch left us this year, and I watched Blue Velvet after he passed and Wild at Heart after he passed, and then had opportunities to see them on the big screen throughout the year, and I took those chances, and I had to, because I hadn't seen any David Lynch movies on the big screen except Lost Highway I saw in the 90s. So, yeah, that was great seeing them on the big screen, especially Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet is just amazing. It's a masterpiece. Okay, so after that, let's see what we have here. Other breakdowns. Okay, so here is the highest cast member of all the movies that I've watched, this is the guy that appeared in the most movies that I watched, is John Carradine, the great John Carradine. And it says that the movies that I watched with him in it were House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, Shockwaves, Vampire Hookers, Billy the Kid versus Dracula. All those I watched during the Halloween season. And then also the Ten Commandments, which I had watched around Easter. And then the movie Jacko, which he's in for like 3 seconds. But yeah, man, John Carradine, somebody said, it might have even been his son. I listened to a podcast interview on Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast with Keith Carradine. And maybe he said it, that John Carradine has the most credits of any actor ever in the history of film, because all the credits that he has on IMDb, that's not even close to what he actually was in. There's a bunch of stuff that he wasn't credited for, or people forgot he was in it, or so I don't know. It's a whole thing, but I can believe that, because he did some of the best movies, he did some of the worst movies, but he was just one of those working actors who wanted to just make money and support his family, and he just worked. And even if the thing was a piece of garbage, he still did it, and he did his best. I love John Carradine. I mean, I wish I could cast John Carradine in something. He's just like one of the greatest people of all time. So then after that, directors, the person I watched the most this year was the great Jack Arnold, director of such movies as The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Revenge of the Creature, The Incredible Shrinking Man, Tarantula, High School Confidential, Monster on the Campus, The Glass Web, The Space Children. This guy, I didn't watch It Came from Outer Space this year, but he also did that. Love Jack Arnold. And slowly, like, just over the course of the last 5 years, I've just found myself revisiting his movies over and over and over again, especially The Incredible Shrinking Man. I think that movie is up there with the best of them. It has great special effects. It has an amazing existential sort of theme running through it. It's not just like a sci-fi horror movie. It's also got ideas behind it. And it's based on a novel by the great Richard Matheson, who wrote a bunch of the Twilight Zones. He wrote the novel I Am Legend. He's just a master writer, and he also wrote the screenplay for The Incredible Shrinking Man. I love that movie so much, and Jack Arnold's one of the greats. Let's see. One of the highest producers. Well, the highest producer was William Alland. I guess that's how you say his name, Alland. William Alland. He produced all of Jack Arnold's movies, so of course. Let's see. This is interesting here. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, the highest editor, the person who edited the most. Oh, her name is Susan E. Morse, and she edited all of Woody Allen's movies. Not all of them, but the ones that I watched this year, which was Manhattan Murder Mystery, because of the great Diane Keaton, also passed away. Very sad. Shadows and Fog. Zelig. Zelig is so damn good, man. Zelig is ahead of its time. That's like the movie where the Woody Allen plays this character that's almost like a chameleon, where he goes into different situations and he blends in, and it shows how Zelig kind of was at all these different world events and history and all this stuff. And then this doctor, who's played by Mia Farrow, sort of tries to psychoanalyze him and figure out how and why he always changes into different things. So say he's with a bunch of Chinese guys, he'll become Chinese. He's with a bunch of black guys, he'll become black. He's with these great businessmen, he'll become like a businessman, et cetera, et cetera. It's amazing. Zelig is one of Woody Allen's best. And then Broadway Danny Rose. Love Broadway Danny Rose. Highest cinematographer, George Robinson, I guess because he was Jack Arnold's cinematographer. Damn. Second was Roger Deakins. The great Roger Deakins did The Shawshank Redemption, The Big Lebowski, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see. Let's do something like here. Production designer, Carol Spida. Is that how you say your name? Carol Spire. There's no D. But she did, oh, wow. Okay, so she did David Cronenberg movies like Crash. Crash is amazing. That's the one where they get horny over car crashes. And Crimes of the Future. And of course, so she did David Cronenberg's movies, but then also did the Santa Claus. Talk about a beautiful, able to pull off all kinds of different styles. Let's see. Who else do we look at here? Edith Head, costume design, the great Edith Head. I've seen her name in so many things, but yeah, it looks like she was in, did the costume design for The Big Clock, Night Has 1,000 Eyes, and The Ten Commandments. Oh, The Ten Commandments. God damn, the costumes in The Ten Commandments. Good old Edith Head. The highest composer is John Williams. I guess because he did Home Alone. Yep, of course. Jurassic Park, JFK. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Superman. Yeah, I guess they used his theme in Superman. And Jurassic World Rebirth. So they used his theme there too. Let's see what else. This is interesting. Here's the stuff with the highest average. Not that I gave it, but it's the highest average on Letterboxd, and then the lowest average. So the highest average that I watched this year, I logged Twin Peaks, the Return, because I revisited some episodes from there. I didn't watch the whole Twin Peaks, The Return. I watched like 2 episodes, especially the one where that big nuclear explosion goes off. It's amazing. What an episode. That's peak David Lynch. And then the one with the lowest rating was The Beast of Yucca Flats. This is a great one. I liked it. I don't know what people are talking about, and I watched it on like a really degenerated copy. It looked like it was submerged in water or something. And this one has really, really bad reviews. I kind of liked it. It's got Tor Johnson in it. It's a refugee Soviet scientist arrives at a desert airport carrying secret documents, but is attacked by a pair of KGB assassins and escapes into the desert, where he comes in range of an American nuclear test and is transformed into a mindless killing beast. Tor Johnson, of course, is starred in a bunch of Ed Wood movies and stuff, so that's cool. Okay, so here's one more. The newest movie that I watched, that looks like the most recently released movie that I watched, was Being Eddie, the Eddie Murphy documentary on Netflix. I really like that. I love Eddie Murphy. He's a huge inspiration to me because I think I've watched his special Delirious, his stand-up special 100 times in my life. When I was a kid, I used to put that on and just laugh, and I used to know it by heart. And this doc was really good, and it just gets into his life. The one thing that I didn't, they didn't really get into his controversies, especially the one where he picked up some sort of a prostitute on Hollywood Boulevard, and it was big news, but he claimed, I just saw this woman walking alone on Hollywood Boulevard, and I said, you need a ride? Yeah, right. No offense, Eddie, but come on, dude, you know what you're doing. And then the oldest movie that I watched, this was released in September 20th, 1905, it says. It's a movie called A Funny Shave. It's a silent film. It's like a 10-minute short, maybe even shorter, but it's fucking amazing. The special effects in this, it's like a guy looking at himself in a mirror, and then all of a sudden the face in the mirror starts to transform and morph and stuff. Check it out if you can. It's on YouTube. A Funny Shave. That's the oldest movie I watched this year. That looks like it for the stats and stuff like that. There's a bunch of world map that I got. But yeah, it was that's a hell of a year, 2025. And I guess that's it for me from here for Movies Are the Best. If you want to hear more Movies Are the Best, I do a bunch of these on our Patreon, Yuki and John's Patreon buffet. And I'm going to put this out as a Yuki and John's podcast buffet. This is sort of like Movies Are the Best 0.5. I don't know what number I'm up to, but it's like 12.5 or whatever the heck it might be. But yeah, this has been a great year for me and Yuki. We did so many things. We made so much content. We just had so many great conversations. We got involved with Up All Night with Rhonda Shear, which has been a blessing. And And I've got a bunch of personal projects in the work. I started a company. I think I told everybody about this on one of the episodes, Goblin in Law. And there's a big project coming up for that has been it's been in the works for a while. But when this lands, it's going to be a big deal and it's going to be amazing. And I'm really looking forward to 2026 and just finishing a bunch of projects. Never Finger Bang a Wendigo has been in a bunch of festivals. I got the Best of Denver Underground Film Festival. We won Best of Fest. We got nominated for Best Midnight Short at the Nightmares Film Festival, which was really beautiful. Another film festival just accepted us. We can't announce it yet. But yeah, Never Finger Bang a Wendigo is doing really good on the festival circuit. So that's really cool because I didn't expect that to do well. We shot it on a VHS camcorder and probably had a budget of like $50, but it worked out. I got another project coming up with the great Thomas Seymour, who is a great documentarian. He did the VHS Massacre documentaries for Trauma, and I hired him to make a documentary that I've wanted to make for a long time, but I wasn't able to sort of crack it myself. And I said, you know what? I'm going to hire an actual documentarian to do this. And it's all about the Hellgate Bridge in New York City. And it's in Astoria in Queens. The bridge is fascinating to me. When I lived over there, I used to take walks under the bridge, and I was just like floored by the architecture of the bridge. Found out it was called Hellgate, which was also, sort of intriguing to me. And then I found out a bunch of stuff about the river there, the East River, where there was this thing called the General Slocum disaster, where this boat exploded way, way, way back in the day. And this was the biggest mass death event in New York up until 9/11. And so that whole area started becoming fascinating to me. So I hired Tom. He did a bunch of research. He put together this half-hour documentary, and now I'm in the process of adding one more interview, and I'm going to try to whittle it down to like a 20-minute cut and put that in all sorts of festivals and stuff. But right now, it's a fascinating documentary. We got all sorts of drone footage, all sorts of like archival footage. We got interviews with a couple of people. We got this guy called the History Guy from YouTube. He's got like over 1 million subscribers, and he agreed to do an interview with us. So this is like a really cool project that I've been sort of doing post-production on for a minute, and we're getting closer and closer. And so I think that's going to be done mid-January, and we'll start submitting. So anyway, that's a long rambling thing to say. There's so much going on here at the buffet and with what we're doing, and with what I'm doing. And I'm blessed to know you all and to have you all in my life and to be able to do these sort of like therapeutic things, because if I kept all this stuff bottled up inside, who knows how crazy I would go. The world's in a really weird place, but it's great to connect with you all. And if you all want to get in touch with us, just hit us up and give us suggestions for more podcasts. Give us suggestions for anything. Who cares? Just tell us life advice. Who knows? But anyway, that's it here. This is our final podcast of the year at Yuki and John's Podcast Buffet. And I know Yuki wishes you all a happy new year as well as I. And we'll see you next year here at the buffet. We'll see you next time, baby. I love you, baby.
Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.